welcome to the channel, Loving Life on Less. Today our frugal living video is all about the famous frugals that you and I know that have imparted their wisdom and advice over the years and have inspired millions of people to save more money, be more resourceful and get so much more out of their lives. We're going to start with a very prudent money-saving lady who most of you that watch this channel will certainly have heard of, Amy Dacyczyn. The Tightwad Gazette started as a monthly newsletter in the 1990s. It was all about frugal living and money saving. At its peak, it had over 100,000 subscribers. Amy Dacyczyn was a stay-at-home mum to a husband on a modest income and a brood of children. She was determined to buy a large home with a barn for her brood, but wanting to remain a stay-at-home mum and raise her family, she realised she would have to cut costs everywhere. As she found new ways to repurpose, recycle and save, she would write this up in the monthly gazettes and people would get to share her frugal knowledge. The gazettes went on to be so popular they were condensed down into 3 books. And finally, by popular demand, one large term, the complete Tightwad's Gazette. It is a monster of a book, coming in at 959 pages, and copies still sell really well today. Some of the information is a little outdated, such as references to getting camera film developed and VHS videos, but most of it can be transferred to modern day living. And certainly it makes you feel very creative as you read this book. What could you do around your home that's as thrifty as the queen of frugality, Amy Dacyczyn? Amy went on to get the big home she wanted and eventually retired from the world of being a frugal author. However, saving money and thriftiness is in her heart as she went on to be the manager of a church thrift shop. Still living a very frugal life in her lovely dream home. Some of the Tightwad Gazette's money-saving tips include always buy second-hand for everything apart from food. Cook your meals from scratch and plan ahead. Wash and reuse your plastic bags. Repurpose everything. If it's broken, fix it. Get creative and replace it with something else you have around the home, or go without. Don't spend your hard-earned money on passing frivolities. Save up for that big dream. The legendary frugal billionaire Warren Buffett. He's a world-renowned investor and, according to Forbes magazine, one of the richest men in the world, teetering at having a personal fortune of $90 billion. He still lives on a budget and lives in a modest house he purchased in 1958, and since then has never moved. The equivalent money for the house he bought in 1958 in 2020 was counted at $285,000. In the grand scheme of things, that's still quite a modest home. He wasn't born into wealth, he just had a taste for facts and figures and knew the value of compound interest. Now, even with his billions, he has simple tastes and seems to lack an interest in luxury cars and yachts. His firstborn child slept in a drawer that he converted into a crib. That is how careful he is with money. His top tip is to stay away from credit cards, as the interest will destroy any chance of your wealth. He has a ferocious appetite for reading, but enjoys generally simple meals, with a daily splurge on 1 soda and 1 burger. Due to the depreciation, he tends to buy second-hand cars and doesn't splurge on designer clothes. Close friends will get simple gifts, such as regular newspaper clippings and magazine articles on subjects that would interest them. Or they sit down and have a basic meal in a restaurant where they chat for hours and discuss, Warren knowing nothing is more valuable than time, and time spent with those you care about. He's even been known to use coupons for money off in restaurants, and that is since he's become a billionaire. He says, you can't buy health and you can't buy love, so never be frugal with those. Possum Living by Dolly Freed is a fantastic book written by teenage Dolly, who at the time was living with her single dad, who preferred to get by with no job and almost no money. She wrote the book of those teenage years, and it became a frugal living and prepper's go-to alternative book. The book tells how Dolly and her father live off virtually no money. They live on a half-acre plot of land just outside Philadelphia. It gives tips and creative ideas on how to survive on the bare minimum and actually enjoy dropping out of the rat race. She tells readers how the home has been bought, how they've raised and grown their own food, how they've foraged, repaired and upcycled, and how her father enjoys his homemade distilled gin and dandelion wine. Written at the time as a teenager, Dolly has a very stoic mentality, and it served her well. As a fully grown woman, she went on to be a successful NASA aerospace engineer. She put herself through college and claimed most of her education came thanks to the public library. She is now an environmental educator, business owner, and college professor, and she lives in Texas with her husband and 2 children. The main takeaway from the book is Dolly's advice of do it yourself instead of paying someone else to do it for you. First and foremost, doing it yourself, whether you are producing food, cooking, gardening, raising rabbits, making items rather than buying them, taking care of your health and your finances is down to you. Take care of yourself and your business to the very best of your ability. There's no guarantee that somebody else will. We'll put a link in the comments down below for the YouTube videos of Dolly Freed. It's a small documentary and it's an interesting insight into her attitude and the book Possum Living. Jeff Yeager is the ultimate cheapskate and proudly claims to be so. He has a YouTube channel called The Cheap Life and has some amazing frugal tips. His journey to frugal living began when he was a CEO and fundraiser for the non-profit sector. He started to become aware of how the West was obsessed with quantity rather than quality and how it was costing people and the earth. He had a certain amount of influence of frugality from his grandparents who had been brought up in the Depression. Being naturally thrifty and smart, he realised he could show people how to live on less and still have a really fulfilling life. His videos and books are warm and humorous, but there is a serious message. That prosperity begins with being happy with what you do have and using it to its fullest. He is most famous for his fiscal fast, stating it to be the quickest way to give your budget an injection of money. This is where, for 1 week, a year, or even more often, you spend nothing. A week where no money is spent whatsoever. This would see you eating from the cupboards and the freezers rather than going to the shops. Finding new entertainment within the home or around the home that doesn't cost any money. Maybe getting board games out of the cupboard that haven't been played with for a while, or finding a new walk in your area and taking a picnic. Buying no gas or petrol for the car is allowed, so you are looking at walking or cycling, or using up the small amount in the car you have. And this week is for getting creative, looking around your home and using up all the leftovers of food, remnants of soap, little shampoo sachets collected from trips and hotels that have just been knocking around for a long time and are just rotting away at the back of your bathroom cupboard. If you have a frugal fast Once a year, for just 1 week, you will save money, realise how thrifty and creative you can be, and re-find the joy of not spending money, but spending quality time with those you love and on things you love. We'll put a link to Jeff's YouTube channel in the comments down below so you too can watch his videos and see if you agree with him. Is he the ultimate cheapskate? Dave Ramsey is famous for his 7 baby steps, a step-by-step guide from being in debt to being financially free and independently wealthy. Thousands of people have followed these steps and found it to be a fail-proof way from debt into wealth. The 7 baby steps that Dave is so famous for are: save £1,000 for your starter emergency fund. 2. Pay off all debt except the house and use the debt snowball method. 3. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. 4. Invest 15% of your household income in retirement. 5. Save towards your children's college or university fund. 6. Pay off your home early. 7. The big one, build wealth and give generously. Dave himself became a very young millionaire, but by the age of 28 had lost it all and went bankrupt. Now at the age of 63, he is a multi-millionaire, so he has sound advice from years of experience and learning from mistakes he's made. He has written books, has a radio show, a YouTube channel, does TV shows and tours and much more. Some of his frugal tips include: when you're in debt, you should be eating rice and beans until your debt is paid off, meaning start cutting back, no eating out, frugal meals until your debt's paid off. If you are in debt, he says, you have no business being in a restaurant unless you are working there. He suggests second jobs, side hustles, any way to make extra money to throw at debt. Something else he's very well known for saying is the borrower is the slave to the lender. Never forget that. Get rid of debt. You don't need debt to get by, and get your house paid off as soon as you can. Get the millstone of debt from around your neck. We'll put a link to Dave's YouTube channel in the comments down below if you want to find out more information of how you can become wealthy the Dave Ramsey way. Thanks for watching today. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up. If you'd like more money saving, frugal living videos, subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments who your favourite frugal money saving megastar is and what tips you've learnt from them. Until the next time, wherever you are in the world, we hope you have a truly blessed day. Bye for now.